Chip Chat, everybody. I'm Chip. Ted's out this week. He's on quote unquote vacation. So, no, we assigned him something. So Eric is here to fill in. Say hi, Eric.
Hey, everybody.
I'm
Eric, not as good looking as Tez.
That's true, but it's radio, so it's fine. Eric has a fake newspaper.
I do, the Tacoma Torch.
Yeah, it's like a fake radio show, but on paper.
Yeah, we probably have a couple more fans than you, but you know, doing okay.
That's true. Do you have OnlyFans?
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty good. Like this shirt, Eric made this shirt. Great story about that. He kind of made this hat too. Didn't mean to.
I kind of made that whole team.
Yeah,
I should get in perpetuity some cash.
Well, we've got a relationship with them now, so you know. Thanks for that. Anyway, so you're here, but one of the reasons you're here is that we're going to talk to a returning guest, renowned designer Dan Formosa will be joining us, but he's not specifically here to talk about design, although we're going to squeeze some of that out of him if we can. He's also an author, and kind of a famous one, about baseball. Do you know about baseball?
I know a little bit about baseball.
Your credentials are?
I was a college baseball player.
Yeah,
and I coach high school.
And you currently coach high school baseball.
Play baseball, and I wore baseball stuff today.
See,
got my baseball.
So you're a baseball guy.
You could say that.
Yeah. So that's why you're here.
I hope I'm here for more than that.
Well, yeah. You're also funny, which is good because somebody on the show better be. All right. We have other stuff, but we're going to talk to Dan about like all of the new rules because baseball's got a bunch of new rules.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They've got bases made out of pizza boxes, all kinds of stuff. We also are going to talk about this thing that we found out this week, which is I have something in common with Tucker Carlson, which I wouldn't have guessed, but yep, we do have something in common. We're going to talk all about that. Texas hates women and Florida still sucks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be a packed show. It's going to be a lot going on. And damn it. I had some of the M&Ms to show Tuckums. I had another pack a couple weeks ago. I had a pack of M&Ms to show Tuckums on the screen because he watches, just to keep his interest.
Got it.
But I left them in the car. So that sucks for Tucker. He doesn't get his green M&M fix on the Chip Chat. Sorry, Tuckums. All right. You got a word?
I got a word.
Okay. I've got a word. Let's see if this works. All right, so sit back, grab some
fungo bats.
It's pizza box time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond. All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. Tonight is Eric.
Everybody.
So we're going to do a segment now called Tucker and Chip. So
all right. I'm excited to know how you were the same as Tucker.
Yes, how I am exactly the same as Tucker Carlson.
I mean, other than your good looks.
Yeah. and insane laughs. Okay. Before we talk about that, the thing that everybody needs to know is that there is this lawsuit going on with Minion voting machines suing the absolute pants off of Fox News. And normally the men at Fox News love taking off their pants, but not to the tune of $1.6 billion. Dominion knows, because they can read, that Fox News was lying about all of this stuff about them. They were defaming Dominion voting systems and putting on people who were defaming them and cost them business, cost them growth and all of this stuff. And they've mathed it out, and it cost them $1.6 billion. They are suing Fox News for that 1.6 billion. They are also suing Mr. Pillow individually for 1.6 million. They're also suing Rudy and Sidney Powell individually for 1.3 billion. So, you know, it's not that they were injured $7 billion. It's that each of these entities injured them $1.3 billion or 1.6, depending on the entity. And that's a lot of money, even for Fox.
Yeah. I don't know very many corporations that are worth, $6 billion in the news. Is Fox worth that much?
They're the highest rated. They make the most money. They actually charge the most of the cable companies to carry their stuff. And they actually make enough money off of the carriage fees that they wouldn't need any advertisers at all. So that's why this boycotting their advertisers is kind of irrelevant. But anyway, the point is Fox News is in big trouble, and they're in legal battle here. And right now, Dominion is asking for what they call a summary judgment. They're just going to lay out the facts and say this is so beyond any rebuttal here that it's just find in our favor. It almost never happens, but that is generally when the case gets made. And so they've been filing these things because they've got all the emails and text messages from Rupert Murdoch, Tucker, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Jesse Water, all of these creeps on Fox. They've got all of their communications and depositions. And it turns out these people have been lying relentlessly to their viewers. And not lying in the way where they're just saying this stuff to drive ratings. They're saying the stuff to drive ratings, and then they're getting on their text and their phones to each other and going, "Man, that was a lot of horse shit." So they're writing down in a recordable format how they're lying. And
we knew that, but now there's proof of that.
Now it's in open court. Yeah. And there's so much of it that they've had to release these several 100-page filings each day for a week. They've got thousands and thousands of pages of emails of Fox people talking amongst themselves about how they are lying about the election being stolen.
It's like Succession.
Yes, in a way. Yeah. Okay. But what we learned in this are some pretty damning things. Now, if you were listening last week, we had a similar list, but there's even more to it. Here's some things. On November 19th of 2020, in an email, Rupert Murdoch appears to describe Trump and Rudy as both, quote, increasingly mad.
What gave it away? The ink dripping off his head?
Any of this? Man, woman, camera, person, TV, or whatever?
Mad.
Increasingly mad. Yeah. Pro tip, somebody with their finger on the button, increasingly mad, that's a Dr. Strangelove movie. We've already seen that one. That's not how that should go. He adds that Trump, quote, the real danger is what he might do as president. Apparently, not sleeping and bouncing off the walls. Don't know about Melania, but kids no help.
No shit.
Yeah, right. So
the kids, oh my God.
I guess that means he called DJ TJ and Ivanka and was like, hey, can you get your dad under control? And they're like, buddy, let me tell you, been trying for years. No, they didn't say that. They said, yeah, we're this is under control. And we're about to cash in. Jared got what, $2.5 billion from the Saudis? He should just pay off Fox's lawsuit and just walk away from it.
We'll still have a couple $100 million left over.
Funny point about that. You might say to yourself, why on God's green earth would Fox News want to go to court about something which they know they're lying and have it all be exposed?
Why would someone do that?
Because if they just settle, they have to admit it all anyway. So they're going to fight it, and then they're going to not cover it and hope that their viewers stay siloed enough that they never find out about it. And then pay the $1.6 billion, I guess. They're going to lose. They're so obviously...
I can't see how they're getting out of this.
No. In his deposition, Murdoch not only disputed Trump's claim that the 2020 election was stolen, but he also agreed when he was asked whether Trump was, quote, a sore loser. He was like, yeah, fucking so a loser. He's Australian. Other key comments come from Fox News host Tucker Carlson, who knew previously that he privately who we knew previously that he had privately warned that Trump, quote, could easily destroy us if we play it wrong. He also called him a demonic force. What we didn't know was that he was speaking in the context of Trump's business ventures. He goes on to say that like every business Trump touches fails. And he says it at length. Here's a quote. All of them fail. This is about his businesses. What he's good at is destroying things. He's the undisputed world champion of that. He can easily destroy us if we play it wrong. It's so obvious. Tucker wrote that.
I mean, if you look at most of his business ventures, though, like Trump Steaks and Trump University, maybe he got a shot. You know, like you can't be that afraid of him. He's got the real estate things going well.
Yeah,
but
he can't be batting 1,000 at failing.
Yeah.
But Tucker, that's surprisingly like something I would say. Someone tells Tucker, quote, on the bright side, Trump has a pretty low rate of success in his business ventures. And then he goes on to say all that stuff. 2 days before January 6th, this is one of my favorite things. On January 4th, Tucker texted someone, quote, we are very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights. I truly can't wait.
I like that, most nights.
Then he added, I hate him passionately.
Wow.
Tucker, I agree.
You need a little bow tie.
Yeah, right. No, he's done with the bow tie now. He's on to
that's too bad.
It's it was too elitist.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, the Swanson era.
He's a man of the people now.
The man of the
that's
people.
Right. Oh.
Tucker, I gotta say, I can't disagree with that. I also hate Donald Trump passionately.
I'm starting to think I might have a couple similarities with Tucker.
You might be very similar to Tucker.
That scares me. Okay.
After January 6th, Murdoch also mused about Trump's fading away. He was asking former House Speaker and Fox News Corp board member now, Paul Ryan, couldn't he just resign and get Pence to pardon him and then just disappear? Like, no, that would be the quid pro quo. That's exactly the thing that, no, you're not supposed to do that. Later on, okay, here's the other thing that happened is that Fox News's news division called the Arizona election for Biden. And they did it first.
Yeah.
And then they were very sorry that they did it because they all got fired. The opinion side of Fox were talking about how the news side was ruining everything for them and that they were driving this, they were telling the truth. How dare they? And that it was hurting the stock price because their viewers were leaving and going to OAN where they could get the lies, you know, mainlined into their throats.
Yeah.
So they were complaining about the news people, right? Okay. On November 16th, Tucker pointed to a tweet from a non-Fox reporter noting that Fox anchor Eric Shawn had debunked Trump lawyer Sidney Powell's claims about Dominion right after Maria Bartiromo had her on. Tucker complained that, quote, our news division people are promoting it. Later in that string, Carlson shared a Daily Beast story. He reads the Daily Beast about Shawn's debunking, and Ingram responded, Briganti, referring to Fox Executive and Communication Division, Irina Briganti. She is coordinating this. And here's Tucker's response. Without question, she hates us. Irina hates primetime. Trust me, that's not speculation. And Ingram's like, my anger at the news channel is pronounced. What is, well, first of all, who talks like that?
Pronounced.
Yeah, my anger is pronounced. Pronounced what? Fucking angry? What's wrong with you, lady?
In the country club, you're not allowed to swear. So
yeah,
you have to
speak like a regular person.
When you know the waiter brings you the wrong thing. My anger is pronounced.
Yes. That's pretty good. But then like Tucker continued to tuck. So while this stuff is being filed in court and the whole rest of the country and the world is seeing this because Fox News people are not seeing this. What they are not seeing this, what they are seeing, it's a little on the nose. What they are seeing is Tucker's weird video edit of January 6th, which he had 44,000 hours of footage to use that he got from Dumb Kevin.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Guess what he's managed to cobble together that shows it being a peaceful decent sightseeing trip.
Would they cut away to like the Adirondacks and like
Yeah, well, no, of the protesters or rioters not rioting
when they were resting, when they were tired,
when they
after
were
they
hanging
were
out,
when they
like
were exhausted from protesting and rioting. They're like, okay, this is the scene that we want, and they're just I just broke 7 windows. I need to take a break. Oh, look how peaceful they are.
Yes, just like that. So, in fact, one of the bits of footage that he had was of a guy picking up a podium to put it back as if this was, he's being respectful of the place. Turns out that's the guy who stole that podium. He's in jail right now.
But he took it away peacefully.
So how many of the 44,000 hours, how many minutes, hours, seconds has Tucker managed to cut together that makes January 6th look peaceful? So far that he has aired on television.
I'm going to say about 2 minutes.
You'd be close. It's 4.
Wow.
He's got 4 minutes of it not being a riot, including showing the footage of Josh Hawley running like a baby and being like, no, there were other people running away too.
This reminds me of, remember when the Karate Kid, years later, they came out with a video, somebody redid the preview.
Yeah.
And made it look like Daniel was the bad guy.
Yeah, right.
This is the same kind of.
That's exactly it.
He should work in that field, reworking scripts.
Well, that's essentially what he's doing, except he's got a production team to help him with that. So while Trump is out fake tweeting about how January 6th was the greatest day of his life, Tucker's got actual video editing software, and he's trying to put together something that is a lie. It's such a lie that Cocaine Mitch, who is currently in the hospital with a concussion, by the way, I'm not sure I wish that on him. So I don't want credit for that. You know who did trip him though? Merrick Garland. Okay.
Can he just like protect himself by just like tucking into his
the
turtle
shell? Yeah.
And just rolling a little bit?
You'd think.
Like maybe he's just a little too old. Didn't get in too quick.
Yeah, well, it's the polio. His legs don't go fast enough. But anyway, all right. So like Tucker's weird fake January 6th, like a bunch of the Republicans who lived through it, they asked the reporters, they're like, so what do you think of Tucker's thing? And they're like, this is irresponsible. This is crazy. The chief of the Capitol Police, Chief Manger, asked that his statement be read at roll call. Here are some of the key points of the statement: that Tucker pushed, quote, outrageous and false allegations that officers acted as, quote, tour guys. Manger refuted that characterization, saying that officers who were severely outnumbered were using, quote, de-escalation tactics to try to talk rioters into getting each other to leave the building. The program, quote, cherry-picked from the calmer moments outside the violent attack to push a false narrative dismissing the violence of the siege. Fox News host claimed fallen officer Brian Sicknick's death, quote, had nothing to do with his heroic actions. The department maintains, Manger wrote, that had Officer Sicknick not fought valiantly for hours on the day that he was being violently assaulted, Officer Sicknick would not have died the next day. So, I mean, everybody in the Senate and the House, they were there. And as a matter of fact, it's interesting that Dumb Kevin gave Tucker all of that tape, but what he's not playing is the tape of Dumb Kevin on that day calling into Fox News, hoping that that's how he could get a hold of the president, because he wasn't picking up his phone, saying, we are under attack. This is dangerous. People are dying. We need help. That's the tape that Tucker's not playing.
Yeah.
So Cocaine Mitch came out and held up Chief Manger's statement, and he said that everything in there was where he wanted to be. He said that he stands with the chief. Clearly, the chief of the Capitol Police, in my view, correctly describes what most of us witnessed firsthand on January 6th. So that's my reaction to it. He said that it was Tucker's program was, quote, at variance with the truth. He said, I want to associate myself entirely with the opinion of the chief of the Capitol Police about what happened on January 6th. It was a mistake, in my view, for Fox News to depict this in a way that's completely at variance with what our chief law enforcement official here at the Capitol thinks. Then they caught up to Tom Tillis in North Carolina, and they're like, what do you think of this? Quote, I think it's bullshit, end quote. No, it goes on. I was here. I was down there, and I saw maybe a few tourists, a few people who got caught up in things, he added. But when you see police barricades breached, when you see police officers assaulted, all of that, if you were just a tourist, you should have probably lined up at the visitor center and came in an orderly basis.
Oh, okay, hold on. You should have lined up at the visitor center. First of all, the building was closed.
Yeah.
There was no visitor center hours at that time.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Yeah.
It was not open for tour groups. To be in that building at that time was illegal.
Yeah, basically.
And everybody knew that.
Yeah.
So I don't understand this. Well, you know, the visitor center, blah, blah, blah.
Their argument would be, Brian, something happened. Uh-oh. We're on the other feed. If you're looking here, let's just make sure the sound turns on this feed. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. So just turn the microphone on here. We're still on? We're not still on.
Okay, well.
I don't know. Can anybody hear us? Can you hear us?
Man, this show's gone downhill since COVID.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Well, we can just continue with that anyway. Republican Senator Kevin Cramer in North Dakota said he was on Capitol Hill in the Capitol on January 6th, firmly rejected Tucker's portrayal of that day as, quote, some rowdy, peaceful protest of Boy Scouts. I think that breaking through glass windows and doors to get into the United States Capitol against the borders of police is a crime. I think particularly when you come into the chambers, when you start opening the members' desks, when you stand up in their balcony, to somehow put that in the same category as, permitted peaceful protest is just a lie.
What kind of badge as a Boy Scout do you win for bringing zip ties?
It's your riot badge, of course.
You get,
you It would. Oh, that's a good question.
Probably some like zip ties and some tactical gear.
Yeah, it would be the little Proud Boy emblem with their little PB.
The Proud Boy.
They get a Proud Boy badge.
Yeah,
where they're not allowed to jack off unless they're within 3 feet of a woman, which is a true thing about the Proud Boys. I don't write their rules.
How do you know that?
Because they had to file that in court, actually, because they are being sued. And now they're trying to subpoena Trump to come in to their defense and say, look, we were just following his orders and we want him to come into court and say so. Guess what he's not going to do? But all of that is true. This is the most ridiculous, silly, but also dangerously violent thing.
I'm a guy who writes satire, and I can't tell what's satire anymore.
It's all true. Anyway, it's a good story. Why don't we take a break?
We'll get our electric.
We'll get our thoughts together.
Tubes working correctly here.
Yeah, we'll get the series of tubes going on, and then we'll briefly get a chance to talk about Montana. It's one of those square-shaped states.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll have a little bit more news in the rundown. Then we're going to talk to Dan, who's going to teach us about baseball. It's going to be really cool.
Baseball.
Yeah. So you're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond. Street Balls.
At first it was just white Christian male landowners who made the choice. By 1856, white men everywhere finally had a voice. In 1870, after a 500,000 died, men of color could vote. No, I just lied. 'Cause the 15th Amendment was a joke. It was totally jive. For another 95 years until 1965. Then in 1920, Susan B's dream finally came to be. But in 2016, it was a bunch of morons who voted for the presidency.
right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me tonight is Eric.
Hi,
Eric had a
everybody.
costume change.
Yeah, I got hot in here. It's like
It's
maybe
like that
maybe
Nelly song.
Maybe it's you.
It's my
You just
OnlyFans.
radiate heat.
Well, stuffing them with the
OnlyFans.
backdoor slider. We'll get you there.
Classic line.
It is classic. How much did you raise with the shirts, by the way?
We raised about $1,250.
That's
I shouldn't
nice.
Say about. We raised exactly that much.
That's
And-
well,
and
you got some of them. It's mine.
And some only Boys and Girls Club kids are now able to afford to play sports.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
You did a good thing.
all over a bunch of dick jokes.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Shout out to Tony and the Crop Dusters, by the way. Favorite fake baseball team. No, they're not fake. They're a real team. Okay. Now we've come to the part of the show. It's called the Rundown. This is where I tell you about some stuff that's gone on in the news. There you go. In case Tez is listening. Dateline, Montana. Doot, 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 doot. Congressman Matt Rosendale, a Republican who represents a wide swath of Montana, pause, that entire sentence is self-evident. This does not need to be there. There are
Wide
no
swath.
small swaths of
No.
Montana.
No.
It is literally called the Big Sky State.
I watch Yellowstone. I know what's up.
It's huge. He's coming under fire for being in a photo with who, Eric?
A group of white nationalists, of course.
Yes, of course. His office denies the meeting, which is funny because there's a photo of it. The photo appeared on Friday on a Telegram account controlled by prominent white nationalist Grayson Arnold and shows 4 other men standing by Rosendale. The group includes another well-known, and this is going to be get ready for this sentence. You hear it? It's coming. The group includes another well-known white supremacist, Ryan Sanchez. The other 2 men
Oh my
standing with
God.
Rosendale could not be immediately identified.
So-
Okay.
So, my maiden name, I look white. I am
Yes.
white, but my grandfather's Hernandez.
Yeah.
So on behalf of white people with Mexican last names,
Yes.
this is shameful.
It is very shameful. Now, it is possible that he is Sanchez of Spain
True.
and could come to it that way. But that's still, I think, generally speaking, in the white
It's
supremacist
Hispanic
world.
adjacent, you know.
Yeah, no, they're
It's
the
Hispanic. It is Hispanic.
they're the
I'm saying.
Southern Europeans.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
those olive toned,
Yeah,
you know, natives.
before they moved to
Before
South
they-
America.
Right. Yeah. They were already dark. That's the like white nationalist thing. Okay. So that's bad. He got caught in this photo.
Certainly not good.
And then it turns out that there was a bunch of these other guys here. Arnold, one of the guys that was in the photo, also was also employed briefly by the Washington State GOP. The Daily Beast confirmed that Arnold had been part of the party's payroll, but was terminated after the Republicans learned of his involvement in far-right politics, which included advocating for shooting refugees, killing undocumented immigrants, and saying that Hitler was, quote, a complicated historical figure which many people misunderstand.
Oh my God.
No, we don't. It isn't the first time he's been photographed with a high-profile politician, though. He managed to get in with Kelly Ward of Arizona and a few others. There's also like that guy, what you call him, Fuentes, who was hanging out with Kanye and Trump. So like these guys are able to get meetings with all these people. I can't get meetings with these guys.
Yeah, and my other question too is like these people who, you know, like for example, these Congress people who are like, oh, I don't know who they are. I want to stay away from these people, but then they're like, why are you attracting those people in the first place?
Yeah, that's really the question, because these guys aren't going and trying to take a photo with, say, Jamie Raskin.
No, absolutely not.
Because they fear Jamie Raskin because he's Jewish. But like why are they able to get close to them? That's the real question. I understand that congressmen will basically take a picture with
Sure.
and shake hands with anybody, but their staff has to let them get close.
That's why you hire a really good staff
Yeah.
and know who these people are.
Well, they do, and they know who these people are, and they
Yeah.
support what these people do, and that's why they're in all these photos. You don't see it going the other way.
Yeah, well, you know, Rosendale also like he voted for eliminating citizen by birthright. He
Right.
voted against Juneteenth as a federal holiday.
Yeah.
He's against the Medal of Honor for, you know, Capitol Police officers killed in January 6th. So
I wonder
you know,
why.
and he wonders why he's attracting these kind of people.
Right.
I mean, come on, it's obvious.
It's right. Okay. Dateline. the North Sea. No, Baltic Sea. Baltic Sea.
It's all the same.
Yeah, sure. It's one of those cold bits of the ocean. There's a pipeline under there, the Nord Stream pipelines. These are the pipelines that carry gas from Russia to Europe. The kickoff of the war in Ukraine, these pipelines got super famous. Everybody wanted to talk about it. And then one of them blew up. Boom. Kinda. Had a leak. But it made a big like bubble in the ocean and it lost lots of gas and everybody was like pretty worried about it.
It's like in the pool when you fart in the pool.
Yeah, it's exactly like when you fart in the pool.
Yeah.
Except, and it's made of the same stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just a lot of it. And so everybody's like, oh, well, it's clearly like an attack by the Russians. They've got submarines. They're in the area all the time. They blew up the gas so that Europe would like cave and stop supporting Ukraine, which is not what happened. They basically patched the gas, kept buying gas from Russia, but told Russia they didn't want to pay as much for it. And so, you know, it's working. And no, they're doing their best. We're sending them gas in ships. But that's not what happened, apparently.
What happened?
U.S. intelligence agencies report that it might have been some Ukrainian sympathizers who blew up the pipeline.
Ooh.
It's not good because we really didn't need that.
Allow me to let me put on my conspiracy theory hat.
Yes.
Turn my hat, rally cap / conspiracy. All right. You know what this is?
What is it?
Tacoma Park.
Okay.
It's all related to Tacoma Park.
I'm sure it is.
They're against gas appliances.
That's true. Yeah.
And, you know,
despite the fact that they all have them in their houses.
You know, now Joe Biden wants to take away your gas
takes
stove.
away your gas stoves.
So this is Hunter Biden, somewhere on his laptop. You're going to find some information
about Burisma blowing up a gas line,
stopping the gas lines from going into Europe.
Yeah.
So that
they can make you have an electric stove.
You got it. You great.
Makes perfect sense now.
QAnon,
I get it.
QAnon, or
yeah.
We need a new anon, like a new.
We should get our own letter.
Yeah. What letter should we get?
I don't know. C. It's ChipChat. We can be like
CNN.
Chipanon.
Sounds like CNN.
Yeah, CNN. There you go. It's real news.
According to CNN. I like that.
According to C.
You could be like another animal for Wolf Blitzer. You could be like Pug Blitzer or something.
Yeah, it's funny,
like
right?
Very close to a wolf, a pug and a wolf,
Yeah,
right?
It's like a smaller wolf.
Pug Blitzer over here on CNN.
I've got the beard. we look pretty similar.
I'm gonna put my normal hat back on.
Okay, so yeah, that's what happened. It's not good. It's a story. But
Yeah.
you know, it's worth covering. The other breaking news tonight that broke literally as we were getting here to the studio is that there are reports by the New York Times and some other outlets that the district attorney in Manhattan is about to indict the former guy himself on the Stormy Daniels payment issue.
Ooh.
Which is not like a negotiable thing. There's no argument of like activity. He's proudly claiming he did it. So it's not that he's saying I didn't do that. He's saying that I did it and it's legal, but it's not legal and the lawyers can read. So like they're just going to be like, look, it says right here, don't fucking do that with campaign money. And he's going to be like, I did it with campaign money, so it must be okay. And they're going to be like, no, idiot. It says right here, you're not to do that. And he's going to be like, well, I don't care. And they're going to be like, get into jail. And that's just going to be it. Like, there's no argument there. So that's the other breaking news.
Stormy night.
Yeah. Dark and Stormy Daniels. She's not so dark, though. She's blonde.
She's very white.
Yeah. She's, well, you know, Trump would.
That's why Trump likes her.
Of course, yeah. $130,000 likes her. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk baseball with probably the most expert baseball person I know, present company excluded. And we will have a really good time doing nerdy baseball things. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond. Sweeps.
It might be old drummers, but now I'm going to get monsters and learn how to groove. You know, it's just my hobby. I mean, like drummers like that, like have you get equipment, they just learn the machines, and it'll do what you need to do. Like have funk soul, it was like you can hear when they funked up basically in rhythm. It was still funky. You know what I'm saying? Like they still kept the beat. It's hard to explain, but I tried to do
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Betway Radio and Beyond. Your host, Chip, with me tonight is Eric.
How's it going?
And now we've come to the thing that people are actually tuning in for. Dan Formosa is a world-renowned designer and star of my favorite videos on YouTube, except of course, our videos, which are on YouTube. Go check it out, Beltway Radio and Beyond channel. But he's also a well-known author about baseball, publishing the Baseball Field Guide originally all the way back in 2006, and publishing several new editions and revisions as the rules have been revised. This year will show us a wide variety of changes, which we are already seeing in the preseason games. So we have invited Dan back to tell us about the new rules. Dan, welcome back to Chip Chat.
Chip, I am happy to be here. Eric, great to meet you.
Yeah, you too. I'm excited to be here.
So
Yeah, because Eric's wearing a San Francisco hat.
yes,
All
I
right.
can't get this on. Wait, let me figure this out.
who designed these headphones?
There we go.
There he goes. He's got his Yankees hat on.
All right. Now I feel like we're a baseball group here.
Yeah, now I feel like I'm in. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm minor league, but I could have been wearing my Orioles gear and still been minor league.
Oh, minor league is real baseball.
Oh, come on. We can make our own jokes. I don't like it when the other guys do it.
All right, sorry.
Okay, so before we get too far into you sent us some pictures that you're going to use when you describe the new rules, I think. So we'll get those up when we do it. But before we get to that, do you get advanced, since you write the rule book that the people use, do you get like advanced warning of what the new rules are going to be so that you can get like the new editions out on time?
No, not this round. And I got to tell you, I think it's because Major League Baseball must have been in a whole lot of chaos with these new rules.
Yeah.
Because they were still in contention throughout the year, and they never actually even published their 2022 rules until very, very, very late in the season.
Oh, wow.
So we couldn't even like pin down what they officially called for 2022, and what they were going to be calling for 2023 was still, you needed a psychic to figure out what they were going to actually pin down.
So if they hadn't published a rule book, how did people know like what to do? They had like a draft or something?
Trying to get a draft of what the teams were using or what the umpires were using. It turns out that in their official rules, when they finally published it, there were not a whole lot of changes. There were 2 tiny changes. So they were really going by the 2021 rules.
So they didn't have to like learn anything new. But this year there's big changes.
Yeah, major changes.
Yeah,
And the bottom line is that like speaking of psychics, I think someone at Major League Baseball like looked into the future and said, everyone's watching TikTok.
Yeah.
and baseball takes a long time.
Well,
And
so they decided to introduce their own tick-tock. It's the pitch clock. It goes tick-tock, 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 and then you have, take the pitch or you're out.
yeah, not just that, but there's a whole succession of new rules that are meant to speed up the game and also to get more action on the field, like the pizza box bases.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about the new rules. You're going to tell us what the new rules are that you know about, and you've got some graphics for and all that. And then we have a set of new rules that we want to propose, and we want to run by you and see if you think that these are any good.
These are solid, by the way.
Yeah, they're
You
really.
got it.
We've talked.
Yeah, we spent an hour on the phone writing
maybe
these
55
rules.
minutes, and
it was
and
great.
mastered baseball.
Yeah. We figured
All
it
right.
out.
I'm
He's
looking
after
forward
us
to
all
getting
day.
to them.
All right, so go ahead, Dan. What are the new rules that people need to understand before this new season, which I think opening day is what, the 30th, right?
Yeah, it's March
Yeah.
30th.
Yeah. Okay.
And
go ahead.
every team is going to be playing on the 30th.
Right.
So
There's no odd number teams.
let's start. I don't really have a specific sequence, but let's start with the bases, bigger bases. So the bases are going from, which means first, second, and third base, is going from 15 inches on a side to 18 inches on a side.
So they're huge.
They're huger. Yeah, they're huge.
And what is the rationale here?
More hits. They think more base. Yeah, more people on base. They think it's going to increase by roughly 2%, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but they are trying anything they can to increase the on-field action. They want people on base.
Ricky Henderson is really pissed.
Yeah, I was
about
going to
this.
say, like, this also has to do with stolen bases, right? That they want people to be safe more often when they try to steal.
Yeah, there's a thought there that it's going to be safer if they're a little bit bigger, but I'm not sure that that's their driving force. What that means is that because of the way the bases are positioned on the field, that 18 inches puts first and second and third 4.5 inches closer.
Yeah, so instead of, it's not 90 feet, it's like a little less than 90 feet or whatever.
Yeah. So that's a little different. But baseball is such a game of seconds or split seconds or replays and was his foot on before the ball, etc. So
Right.
it's gonna make a difference.
It's going to make it more exciting, I think. I mean, there's more chances to be safe. Like, is he safe? Yeah, he's safe. His finger is on or whatever. But it also means that when managers get mad and go and pick up the bases and throw them around, they now have to pick up much bigger bases.
Yeah, there could be more injuries. The injuries you save from a runner being
are going to be
gonna
made
throw
up
some
for.
shoulders.
Yeah, from
rotator
getting-
cuff, back spasms of managers.
Yeah,
Puck-
getting whacked in the head with a base.
Yeah. It's an effective weapon next time you get beamed. Take your base, literally. All right. What else you got on the list there, Dan?
Well, speaking about more action, since batting averages have gone down
Yeah.
significantly. So that's also what they're trying to increase. They want to increase batting averages. So there is a pitch clock.
And this is because the pitchers are too good. That's why batting averages are going down? Or
Yeah, exactly. Pitchers are getting better than the batters. Yeah, the ratio of improvement of pitcher to batter is in the pitcher's favor, apparently. So, yeah, if you look at that chart on the bottom right, the batting averages since 1950 have been going down, and the strikeout rates have been going up. And, that leads to the strikeout rates have gone up significantly.
It happened in 1968.
Yeah. The war? Vietnam?
Did
You know,
affected by that?
Something else. I didn't send you guys a graphic, but strike zones have changed.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
have they officially changed, or have they just sort of in enforcement changed?
It's they officially changed at significant time periods, but there also is that interpretation of what qualifies as the back of your knees when you're wearing pants.
Where is the letter high strike? Is the letter high strike really a strike?
Yeah. And the official designation is for the upper level is the midpoint of the body.
How is that determined? I mean, do you have to fold every batter in half and like mark it with a Sharpie?
Yeah, and of course, And any batter can change the batting, the batting zone, the strike zone by crouching.
Right.
Standing up
standing
straight or
up.
crouching, because it's based on the batter's body. At least the height, upper and lower limits are based
that's
on
why-
the batter's body.
Yeah. So your choices are stand up taller, crouch, or be Jose Altuve.
Yeah.
Those are the three kinds of strike zones there are.
Exactly. Yeah.
So with the pitch clock, though, it's like a shot clock in basketball, essentially, that both the pitcher and the hitter have some responsibility to either be in position or deliver by some period of time, right?
Yeah. So two things are happening. The pitchers have to pitch within 15 seconds. It's 20 seconds if there are runners on base.
Okay.
But in either case, they have a time limit, and there is a big clock on the field to remind them. And then the batters have to be in position within 8 seconds, of the countdown.
With 8 seconds left.
Yeah, 8 seconds left. Yeah.
So this would eliminate like Andy Pettitte throwing the first 1,600 times or whatever, or is that a different rule?
Yeah, no, that's limited too. He can step off the plate up to 3 times, but the third time has to mean something. Meaning the third time he's got to get that out.
Is that 3 times per batter or 3 times per?
3 times per batter.
Okay, so the pitcher can step off the rubber 3 times per batter, but on the third one he's got to either throw it or like balk or what? Like
it's a balk.
Means something. It's a balk after that.
Yeah, it's a balk. But he's got. But the goal is he's got to get someone out that third throw. If if someone gets on base, or if there's a new batter coming in, then that count starts over.
Do you like this 15-second rule?
Yeah, where do they get the 15 seconds?
They think that that's going to contribute to chopping 20 to 30 minutes off of the game. And that's significant. A game goes for like 3 hours. So if you could take up to a half hour off the game, that's significant. And it does mean more action.
From? Like, how did they determine that was the right number?
So they test these things in the minor leagues.
Okay.
I've got an idea. I know we're jumping ahead.
Yeah.
Hear me out. 14-second.
Oh,
whoa.
Revolutionary.
Whoa.
Like 6-minute abs.
Yeah, right.
14-second pitch clock.
Yeah.
We'll get another 4 minutes off the game.
That's fantastic idea. Jeez. Commissioner should be listening to the show.
I'm a smart guy.
All right. So the pitch clock is there. The limited on throws over to first, and I love that rule because I hate the throw. You're never getting anybody out with that. This is a dumb thing that pitchers do, and it's just them being nervous or twitchy or showing off or what. Like, why? What's the ratio of success for throwing over? It's got to be nothing.
But I'll tell you something I don't like. And this rule goes back a couple of years, when you can call a walk.
Okay. Oh, well, you don't have to throw all 4 pitches.
You don't have to throw all 4 pitches. And I just thought that was a lovely little classic ceremony of the catcher crouching down. The catcher's got to be in position, and then he's got to pop himself up and, stick his arm way out and catch that very obvious ball. I just thought that was a nice little ceremonial thing, like a classic baseball thing.
That rule was great in Little League when you can't play catch. And so there was a chance for an error when that happened.
Right.
That was exciting. But in the pros, it's like, it's very rare that ball gets thrown away.
I'm sorry, like intentional walks in general, that rule change actually really made a difference too, because you got this lefty righty thing. Is there now a new rule about how many times you can switch back and forth in the batter's box because of that weird incident that went on for like an hour and a half?
You mean any one batter?
Well, there was a pitcher who could pitch
an ambidextrous pitcher and a switch hitter
against the switch hitter, and they kept switching sides, and it just went on for forever.
Oh yeah, that goes back a couple of years. You've got to decide. You got to pick a side. So
if you step in as a righty, you're a righty for that whole at bat.
I think the pitcher goes first, right? The pitcher has to say what they're
there's a rule
first.
about that.
Yes, and it used to be the reverse, but now it's the pitcher starts.
So the pitcher has to declare which hand he's going to throw with.
Yeah, and the batter, it's very funny. So the batter will stand next to, but not inside of the batter's box. And the pitcher's like, oh, he's going to go up right-handed. I'll go righty. And then the batter goes, psych, and he switches over to the other box, but then it's sort of locked in. And once you take that first swing, or once that first pitch happens, you're locked in for both.
That's pretty. I mean, how many ambidextrous pitchers are there? I know there was the one that caused
There's
the
a
rule.
young kid right now. Can't remember what school he plays for. There's 98
With both
right-handed
hands.
and 92, 93
Jesus.
lefty. He's a stud.
Who's making these weird 6-fingered mitts?
They exist. Yeah.
Yeah, I
got, like,
know.
double
I've
thumb
seen
mitts.
them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who's got the
I
contract on
couldn't
that?
even throw 90 with one arm.
Yeah.
Like, let alone two arms.
Can't throw 90 with a pitching machine.
Yeah.
All right. So pitch clock, limited throws. We've got the giant bases. What else is new this year, Dan?
Defensive shifts.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So that's a big deal. So previously, the infield can basically go anywhere they want. As a matter of fact, in the official rules of baseball, up until this year, there was no requirement for any of the fielders to be in any specific positions.
Really?
Well, the pitcher, of course, needs to be on the mound, and the catcher
Right.
needs to be in the catcher's box. But of the rest of the team, they could stand anywhere. So where they stood, left field, right field, center field, was all a matter of, I don't want to say convention. I mean, it made sense in terms of field of playing in the
Coverage, yeah,
field, covering the field. But that was not a rule.
So you're telling me that the answer to who's on second might have been yes?
I don't know. Could have been on second.
Could have been.
Tomorrow.
I don't know. Tomorrow. No, he's pitching. You know where he is.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's pitching. Today's catching. Right. And we don't know who's in right. No, who's on first. But maybe not. He might be anywhere.
Who could be fielding a bunt near home?
Who could be shortstop? Who? Yes. Sometimes his
know.
wife picks him up. All right. Anyway, somebody else did that radio bit a while ago. So the new rule says you can't stand anywhere you want, or what?
Well, the outfield is still open to where they want to stand.
That makes sense.
Although they can't switch sides. So now the center fielder, depending on the batter, right? If a batter comes up, the center fielder can't switch sides with the left fielder, for instance.
Okay.
So that switch cannot take place. However, they can't come in or go out as far as they want, and they can shift around in the outfield. But in the infield, that's really where the defensive shift comes in.
Right.
Previously they can get everybody on one side. If somebody hits to the left, they get the whole infield to the left. What's happening now is they need to split up, right? So the third baseman and shortstop need to be on the left side of second base, and the second baseman and first baseman need to be on the right side. They need to be standing in the dirt.
They can't be on the grass at all.
At the start of the pitch, they have to be in the dirt.
Okay.
What
about
like the
forward
the
too?
release of the pitch, or when the pitcher starts moving?
The release of the pitch.
Oh, because I was gonna say if the pitcher had a really slow motion on purpose,
Right,
and let those runners just run over quick to their spot, shift.
Does the same rule apply to like cheating up on a bunt though? Like, do you have to be on the dirt until they pitch?
Yeah.
In that direction.
Yeah, there's no differentiation.
Okay, so but what about those weird fields with the AstroTurf that only has the dirt around the bases and not like in between them? You know what I'm talking about? Like in the Sky Dome or whatever.
Right. I mean,
Where's the dirt?
Maybe they draw like a white line.
They do have it drawn, but like the shortstop in Toronto, I'm sure their field doesn't look like this anymore. But like the shortstop in Toronto would not be standing in dirt.
Yeah,
He'd be standing on the green AstroTurf,
yeah.
and then just dirt around the bases. How would that rule be applied?
Well, one thing about baseball that's interesting is the infields are all consistent, but the outfields are all different.
Right, but the infields aren't all consistent with those old AstroTurf things, right?
Are they going to paint like an arc to represent the dirt line?
Well, it's painted, but there's not dirt there.
Correct. Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, like, how it depends how the rule is written, maybe.
In front of the line.
Yeah, they're also with every stadium there are ground rules.
Right. So there's ground rules that says this is dirt, despite the fact that it's clearly.
Yeah, I'm going to check into that. That's a really good question. I'm going to check
You
into
should have
that.
home rules, like when you're playing beer pong and like the home.
Yeah,
has, like,
yeah.
Everybody's got their own rules.
Like no swatting.
You're in Toronto, so we have two strikes. You're out here. You know.
Yeah, well, it's Canada. No, you get the base regardless. They're just very sorry about it. Sorry, eh? Okay. So the shift is fixed. No more shifty shift. No more throwing over to first for days on end. And hurry up and pitch and giant pizza box bases.
Yeah. And that covers the most important. I mean, there's a lot of rules about the rosters and things like that. Yeah, rosters actually are not in the rules. That's a whole different agreement that the players have with ML, with
Collective
Major League
bargaining
Baseball.
agreement and stuff.
Yeah. The one other thing that's coming into play are the pitch-com, the transmitter, so that there's not as much cheating going on with stealing signs.
Well, the transmitter's been in for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
like,
getting
not
widespread.
everybody uses it, right? Some people don't want to use it still.
Yeah, correct. Not everyone is using it, but I don't know. That may change this year. I got to see what the teams decide to do.
How long until the Trastros go over there to Johnson Space Center and get some of those NASA nerds to teach them how to hack this thing?
Yeah, well, you see them on their iPads,
Right.
hacking into the pitch-com. But you know what? The other thing is that the pitcher and the catcher are not the only ones who may have the pitch-com. It could be the second baseman, shortstop, and center fielder.
They're also a lot. So can there be multiple pitch comms? Like the catcher is sending a signal to more than just the pitcher.
Yeah. Up to 5 players can have it, and those are the other 3. So
Yeah, as a player,
pitcher, catcher.
as a player myself, I like to see what the pitch is being called so I can shift myself a little bit.
Right.
when I'm in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
field. So yeah, I was going to say there should be some opportunity for other players to see what the pitch is going to be.
Well, so can the right fielder get it or no?
No.
You're going to see that sign anyway as a right fielder.
No, but he's going to need to know, because if you're throwing a breaking ball to a righty, all of a sudden it's going to come to him where it wouldn't have if you're throwing a fastball to the
But
righty. He wants to know.
You wouldn't see that sign from right field.
No, you wouldn't see it. I'm saying the right fielder, wants to know what pitch the pitcher's about to throw.
Goes, hey, go over there.
Right. He's going to have to see it. It's coming your way. All right. Now, Dan, we have a list of rules that we want to throw at you.
Good.
And your job is to tell us whether these are great or even better than great.
Okay, so those are my 2 choices.
Those are your 2 choices. These are
Okay.
fantastic or awesome. No,
Okay.
you can tell us when they're not as well. All right, I'm going to go first. So the first one we're proposing is the one-man shift. You can shift one guy left or right of second base.
Wherever he wants to go.
He's
player can go wherever he
literally
wants
a
to go.
utility infielder.
I
He
don't
can
know,
stand
gets
anywhere.
to play anywhere.
That's right.
Well, that was 2022.
That was already the rule.
But just
Well,
one.
there was no rule.
Just one.
You can't put 2 guys on both sides. You can't shift 2 guys. You can only shift 1 guy.
Yeah.
But previously there were no limitations.
Right. But now that there's a limitation, we want to add. We want to.
You want to specify.
Relax it by
So-
saying you can shift 1 guy.
We're
Awesome.
centrists. We believe in
Yeah.
we
Right.
believe in compromise. So, instead of no shift versus unlimited shift, let's just have one guy go wherever he wants.
The shiftiest guy on your team.
Awesome.
What do you
Awesome.
think?
It's awesome. He likes it.
Yeah. A player cannot stand in the between the pitcher and the catcher.
Oh yeah. No, you can't stand there.
Well, that's crazy.
You're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
come
just
on.
saying it's a rule.
Can you? Well, right. Yeah. That's a good rule. But you also can't shift up to squeeze the bunt or whatever, because that's the grass rule. That's what we learned today. Much smarter. Okay. The second rule we have, this one is called chug and chug. If you reach first on an error, you have to chug a beer because you didn't really earn that base.
Yeah, that base was given to you by
Yeah.
someone else's error.
So you have to chug a beer to put you in penalty for that,
Any downside to that?
to even it out.
I would go for that if it was like a pint glass, not a bottle or a can.
No, it's got to be like a draft.
Like
Maybe a good draft.
brew
Yeah,
at
draft
least
beer.
7%, right?
Oh, 7%. I was going to say like 6, but yeah, 7. That sounds right.
Something high.
And from that point on, they've got to run with it. Correct?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right. They
that's
can't
a-
spill either.
A spill means you have to freeze where you're at. maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Softball
Okay.
rules.
Awesome.
There you go.
All right.
All right, Eric, go ahead,
All right,
give him one.
This one is very near. I came up with this is a serious rule. We're having fun here, but now it's time to get real. Okay. The goal is to reduce time, right?
Right.
Games take forever. I love baseball. I'll watch this, if it's 15 to 20 seconds per pitch, 25. I don't really care about that. But I do care about the warm-up pitches for the middle inning reliever. So when you start an inning, you get 5 pitches to warm up or so. Allows the defense to kind of throw the ball around the infield, get loose. But that middle inning reliever comes in, and it's like 5 minutes of warming up, doing his whole ceremonial run from center field, bullpen, playing music. It's fun and all, but it takes a long time.
He's got to like dig around in the dirt and play with the mound and all that stuff.
So I call this real insta hot.
Yeah.
You're already warmed up. You're in that bullpen, baby.
Yeah.
You've been throwing 35 pitches to a catcher for probably 3 innings now. And when you go out there, it should be live first pitch.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? No warm-ups.
I like that one. So one of the reasons that if we're talking about watching a game live, one of the reasons that seems to go on forever is because there's a commercial going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything we can do to reduce the opportunity for TV to insert itself in the game is good. And
Yep.
and like, every other sport, you don't get like those warm. You don't like, the horn blows and you check in from center court, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, no, let me get a couple of shots before we get playing. Like, no, you're in.
No, I mean, the whole point is like,
Brian has thoughts too.
people want to get rid of that sort of, oh, you have to face so many batters and you have pitch as many pitchers as you want. Maybe even add a little rule to this saying when you call a new pitcher, the moment you tap your right arm or left arm, you got 90 seconds to throw that
You better
next
hustle.
pitch. You better run your ass from center field. Forget
Puffin'
that
and
music
puffin'.
playing and all that, or put on the glasses.
Right.
You don't talk about Major League,
Hustle up.
baby. Get out there and just start throwing 99.
Yeah.
First pitch.
Another change in there is less switching of pitches.
Yeah. Right. There's a limit to how many pitchers you
Yeah.
can
I think
change out per inning.
Let's keep baseball exactly as it is and just do that rule.
Just make it faster. You have to run much faster.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, what do you think? Brian, our producer, has thoughts too.
Speaking of television, recently I'm doing right now collegiate baseball and softball, and they're going in hot. Pretty much it's like, look, fuck, commercials and all that stuff. By the time we're done with a commercial, I'm getting a countdown, 10, 9. They're already on the
They're playing
the second pitch.
I love it.
The second
Despite
one.
the commercials.
Yeah. So really it's like baseball should just like, who cares about the commercials? Just keep it. We're just going where
That's
we're
the
going.
way like NASCAR works, for example. They cut away to commercial and then they rejoin, like whatever.
I mean, if you're taking 30 minutes out of a game, you're already cutting some commercials.
Yeah, probably nothing happened during that time anyway, if that's the whole problem. So then just like rejoin, now already in progress, like whatever. What do you think about that, Dan?
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
All right. I get it.
I got to tell you, you guys are awesome. You're like,
Is there-
right down the line.
Yeah, I need to ask. Did you guys talk about start time?
Oh, well,
Like the
7:05.
7:05, yeah.
What's wrong with the 7:05?
No. 7:05 regular season, I'm fine with.
Yeah. Oh, these
I
like
want
8:30 playoff.
7:05 playoff time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
these,
one.
well, but now that they had the wild card, they did some of them like 3:00 in the afternoon or whatever.
fine, but when
That's
you- when
fine.
you start
But these
getting to
8:30
league
start
Yeah.
playoff games,
Yeah.
no, we can't stay up for that shit.
No.
On a school night,
And you know why?
I
It's
agree.
because they're valuing people on the West Coast, and that's wrong because they chose to move there. The real things happened here on the East Coast first, and you left coast people are just gonna have to watch it on tape delay like you used to, or just be late and just deal with it.
Man,
wait for an earthquake to happen.
I lived in California until I was 24, and it's just like, and I worked a little bit for a couple of years before I moved here. 5 o'clock, we got out of work.
And baseball's already on.
We drove our ass home quick to get to that, to
Yeah.
watch that game. Yeah.
Because it was already on, because the regular people in the rest of the country were busy baseball while you were off doing whatever they do in California. It's the wrong time zone. It's your fault.
Well, we have to surf.
Right. Okay. The next idea we have here, Dan, this one is called lightning round. There's already the pitch clock, where the new rule would say that one team, the once per inning, a team can call a super speed round and cut the pitch clock in half for one batter.
Just for one guy. Just for one guy.
Yeah.
For the whole inning for that team.
Yeah,
Right?
they call it, they call the speed round for that inning. So like it's not just the one batter. It's like, all right, third inning, lightning round.
The whole third inning for the bottom of the third or whatever.
Yeah, whoever the defending team or the hitting team, I should say, gets to call speed
Yeah.
round.
You know, they've been pitching their whole lives. Why do they need that few more seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Why do what's like another 6 seconds going to give them?
I mean,
They've been
it's a
doing this
lot
their
of
whole life.
You know, they need that time to adjust your cup and all that stuff.
And as a hitter, you know, you swing. I don't need 4 seconds to be ready again. I missed. Okay, I'm ready.
I mean, I've got my fidget down. It's, you know, I think it's a good 2 to 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Of like,
that's a good rule.
And how do you pick which inning? Or is it always the third? Is it?
No, it's up to the team.
The coach, it's like a challenge. The coach comes out like a challenge. This inning, it's on.
Yeah, he hits the button.
Or maybe, does he have a flag he throws?
Yeah, so like a bell that he rings. There you go.
I think you should like. Here, let me get a piece of tissue. Throw a flag on the field.
Yeah,
and that's the inning.
That's the inning that it's going to be speed round.
Lightning round.
All right. Do it.
Okay, that was awesome. Number 5, I think. Maybe number 6.
Call Bud Selig. Wait, he's not in charge anymore. All right. Here, number 5 here. So, you know, the pitch clock is like is here. It's probably going to stay. We want to institute like a way to sort of train people to this, you know, so that they come up into the league already being accustomed to pitch clocks. And the best way I've been looking around for like a way to do this. There was an article in the Tacoma Torch actually this week about a little league innovation that is sort of similar to this that we think should be implemented. Eric, do you have the article? Are you able to pull it up?
Yeah. So hold on a second. Let me just get this article going here.
He's
so I write sports.
Sure. Sports.
I write about, you know, satirical sports. But anyway, so I think that Little League should also adopt a pitch clock just to get them, you know, like Mike said, just get them Chip. Ooh, did I just
fine.
reveal?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, man. Big reveal today.
Yeah.
So an article said that I wrote says Little League pitch clock gives kids only 15 seconds to take all advice shouted from parents in the stands.
Yes. We want to implement this in the Little League. Do you think this is a good idea or a bad idea?
Now, you know, I was against it until you mentioned the parents part.
Yeah. How many times do you need to hear bend your knees?
Yeah.
I mean, those kids look frozen out there. They have to listen to like 27 parents yelling at them, and they have 15 seconds to decipher what the hell's going on and release that ball.
Yeah. You got to know.
I think it's good for Little League Baseball.
Which abusive parent to listen to. It's hard to pick out.
My first thought was that clock is going to just increase the number of times the players are crying.
Yes.
So I was kind of against it, but yeah, the parent thing that threw me in the other direction.
And once they start crying, there's another mound visit.
Yeah, right.
That's what last thing we need is
another commercial.
There we go.
That's right. It's another mound visit. Okay, awesome. Is that number 6? Where are we?
Well, that was 5.
The 15 rule also will apply to overbearing dads. Now they only have 15 seconds to completely lose their shit, storm onto the field, fight another grown man over a blown call. And again, likely the score isn't being kept.
Yeah.
And everybody gets a trophy at the end.
That's right.
Yeah. Less parents fighting with the ump because there's less time to do that.
Yeah, 15 seconds to throw some blows. And
well,
then you're done.
Know, some of these overweight suburban parents, they're not making it out there in 15 seconds. By the time they get down the bleachers and all the way out, ump's going to be like, no, time's up. Pitch. Let's go. Play ball. All right.
Number 6.
Number 6. Go ahead.
All right. We call this one Lefty Lucy.
Yeah. Lucy like in Peanuts.
Yeah. Lefties are a very, what's the word? They're just treated
genetically deficient.
Yeah, that's one way to say it. I was going to say, you know, treated unfairly. I'm a righty, so, you know, I'm not, but they can only play outfield, first base, and pitcher. That's pretty much it. That's it. That's all they do.
Certainly can't catch.
So we think if the goal is to have more runs, maybe more errors, more runners on base, every team needs to have one left-handed infielder, not including first base.
Yeah. What do you think?
A second baseman trying to turn
Left-handed
two
second
as a
baseman.
Left-handy. What do you think?
I like it.
It's good.
There we
Well,
go.
what is this? What does this have an implication on batting?
Just more runs, more errors.
Well, no, I don't. Not for the hitters can still hit from whatever
Oh, no,
side.
yeah.
But you have to have one left-handed playing infield, like left-handed
Yeah.
person playing infield with the mitt on his right
Yeah.
hand.
Could be a catcher too.
Right. That would also. I mean, there's a reason you can't be a left-handed catcher.
Yeah.
'Cause
How
all
about
the
this?
hitters
Can I
are-
suggest a bit of a change?
Yes.
Whether the player is lefty or righty, they have to have the mitt on their right hand.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
yeah.
You know,
So they might kind of fudge you. You got
so are you saying you have to catch it with your right hand, switch over, and then throw it with your right hand too? Is that what you're
You
saying?
might.
Whatever. When the pitch is released, the mitt, the glove has to be on their right hand, no matter what.
Oh, I
No
love it.
matter if they're
Yeah.
lefty or.
So
Okay.
they could Jim Abbott it if they wanted to,
The Jim Abbott rule.
but you'd be at your better position to just put a lefty in there and teach him to play infield.
Yeah.
That's assuming lefties
Yeah.
can learn to play infield.
Maybe we'll
Yeah.
get some ambidextrous infielders.
That's what I think. That's where this is going.
yeah.
It's a great rule.
Okay, if we go that way, another awesome.
Okay. Number 7. This one is called the tough shit rule. If you break a bat, no replacement. You get one wood bat per at bat. If it breaks, you can either try to hit with the handle or you're out.
It's brilliant. What do you think?
We broke Dan.
All right, so here's our thought process behind
Duct tape. Duct tape.
Yeah, right. Yeah, duct tape.
You have 8 seconds to duct tape.
I mean, all these guys are shaving their bats to
Right.
be the most
Aerodynamic.
economical is not the right word, but efficient. These things, and they're so fragile now. You know,
Yeah.
the thick handles are gone. They're now super thin, so they can get some weight on the barrel. These bats are breaking like crazy.
Yeah, tough shit.
They are. Yeah, they are. You see a lot of broken bats.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's that shave. How many times is a broken bat per game? 2 or 3? That shaves 30 seconds of walking there. Got to pine tar your bat.
Yeah, and the
Gotta
chance
go,
of
you
Roger
know.
Clemens being able to kill somebody with it goes down tremendously. He only did it that one time. Okay.
I got to think about it. I'm putting that one under great, not awesome. I got to think about it. I may change my mind, later tonight.
Number 8, we have
Yes.
the Price is Right Showcase Showdown. I like the name of that already.
Yeah.
Whew. All right. I love this rule because the goal, I think, is to get more fans excited about staying at the ballpark, not
Yeah.
just going there, but staying through the 9th inning. Okay.
Yes.
So during warmups is the most boring part of the game. Would we all agree?
Yes. Oh,
Most
yeah.
people get their beer, they go to the bathroom and all that. Now, what if during the warm-up pitches, you're not just warming up, throwing to just the catcher? The, the announcer calls a random player from the stands to take one at bat during the warm-up.
Yes.
So now that 55-year-old dude from the suburbs,
Yeah.
who's never played baseball before, who sits there and goes, I could do that. Now he's got to go do that.
Yeah.
And he gets to stand there and take swings during those warm-up pitches.
And then there's the people in the stand should have to heckle him.
Oh, that's just
Mandatory
like,
heckling.
that should be an American pastime, is heckling
Yeah.
a nobody.
They did it to Ted Williams. Shit. You may as well do it to the random guy like taking swings.
Would you watch that, Dan? Would you like,
You wanna
that
watch
would be
them
the most
fan the
exciting
fan?
part of the game.
Yeah.
Fan
That
the
would keep me in the seat during the warm-ups to watch.
And more
So,
people
yes.
come to the game because they might get called. You know, you don't just go to like the Price is Right to watch it. You go thinking you might be the one.
You've got to put them on the jumbotron. Definitely
Yeah, of
promise the jumbotron.
Yeah.
People
I
do
would
anything
pay,
to get
I
on
would
the
pay more
Jumbotron.
money to go to a ticket if I had, and this happens 18 times a game.
Yeah.
And maybe more with extra innings. So
Right.
18 fans get a shot to take a live at bat exhibition at bat.
Well, and like, you know, at O's games, there's like less than 10,000 people at the game most
Oh,
of the
so
time.
I
So
would-
like my chances are really good of getting called.
you might get 6 at bats a
I
season.
might be like,
You'll get more bats than some of the pitchers.
yes, true.
Right. It could even out the the limited attendance. You can get more people. The more limited the attendance, the more people are going to want to show up.
Yeah.
I would
right,
go to the bathroom during the regular inning and just
Yeah, I would-
make sure I watch that part.
right. When the shitty at bats are, you know, it's like the bottom of the order. You're like, all right, I'm going to get a beer.
I love it.
Okay. Dan, can we take a break and then have you tell us about some design things?
Yeah, good with me.
Okay, that's what we're going to do then. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Dan about all kinds of like extra stuff, and it's going to be cool. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
I take a walk to your garden. Summertime be the best time. The sun hit me this morning. You know it's better on the south side. Same niggas still on the counter. You know the money hit at all time. We keep on grinding, keep on grinding. Know you stay on my mind. Hope you doing good, girl. Hope your mama good, yeah. You tell your pops take it. You know that nigga stay on bullshit. Crazy as hell. That's my nigga. That's still. You know, I've been thinking, I've been wishing that we can get back feeling. I'm talking 4 flash, 2 a days up here, hiding from your girlfriend, like we the only ones here. You know that shit sound good, sound good, like I dropped through the hood. Sound good, sound good.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me tonight is Eric. Say hi to the people, Eric.
How do the people, Eric?
There you go. All right. So when we left off, we were talking to Dan Formosa, famous baseball rules book writer guy. He doesn't write the actual rule book. He writes a book about the rule book that explains the rules to regular people. That's a fair way to put it?
Yep.
Okay. But he's also famous for some other stuff. He's a designer and engineer or whatever. He's a smart guy who knows how to build stuff. And he does these YouTube videos where I watch them for hours, where he tests kitchen gadgets and tells you why they're either good or bad and how he would redesign them. It's brilliant television, or whatever they call this now. You should definitely go watch all of them. It's Epicurious that puts them on. So go search. What's the official series? There's a series title.
The series is Well Equipped.
There you go.
And I think I may be the only one to host the series on for Epicurious. I'm not sure of that, but I think I'm the only one to host.
Site?
It's kind of, yeah, right. It could be the same. Yes.
Well equipped.
Well equipped on OnlyFans. That's a different Dan Formosa. Okay. So, but Dan has brought with him a collection of things that he's noticed in the world that are designed poorly, but that somehow aren't food gadget related, and thus he can't put them on his YouTube channel. That's essentially how this works?
Yeah. Last time I was here, Tez asked me, what's a good example of a horrible design?
Yes.
And I wasn't ready visually with any images, and I think the images are going to help. But I do have a collection that I've had for quite some time and kept building called What Idiot Designed This?
There you go.
Oh my
And it's
God.
a collection of photos.
I feel seen.
I actually want to turn it into a reality series where I actually get a camera and a microphone and storm into the place to find the person who designed
Do you need some annoying radio hosts to host it with you? Because, you know, I know a guy.
Yeah. You want to do it?
Yeah, I'm in. I'm 100%
You're in.
in
All
on
right.
it.
So here's the scenario. We find the guy. I just assume it's a guy. We find the person who designed that airline seat,
Yeah.
and we smash into his office and said, "What were you thinking?
What the hell is wrong with you? People
love
have
it.
to use this.
Have you never sat in a sofa? What is this thing?" So yeah,
Like designer is like, what is wrong with you? You're an affront to our trade. All right, so
you're a menace to society.
yeah, right. Certainly the airline seats are. Show us one of the first ones here. I guess Brian's just going to throw one up and we'll see, or he's got
go in sequence because I numbered them.
Oh, there is a sequence. Yeah.
And the first one, okay. So this is the one that actually started off my collection. End 45 mile hours, end 45 mile speed limit. And these are all over New Jersey. Why do I need to know what the speed limit used to be?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think
You're driving backwards.
because I've seen you see the analog of this is also like the end school zone. So it's like this road is by designation, say 55.
Yeah.
But then there's some small section of it that is 45, and they put the sign that says 45, and then they tell you when that zone has ended and you're back up to 55. But rather than just put the 55 sign there, they put the end. So you got to do math.
Well, do states do that? When you
well,
leave
actually,
Maryland, does Maryland say, you're now leaving Maryland?
Yeah.
And then 1 inch later, blocking the sign of New Jersey, it says, welcome to New Jersey. Like, actually, that'd be a good prank. Put
New Jersey
sign-
would 100% do that. Man, when Chris Christie was governor, shutting down a bridge is nothing. You imagine putting signs all over everything that says Pennsylvania? He'd do that in a heartbeat.
Well, you know, I got to tell you something, though, Chip. Beyond this sign, the speed limit is 40 miles an hour.
Oh, wait. So it goes down.
It does not default to 55, which is even worse because you may think it does.
This is terrible. So how many tickets / accidents do you think this causes?
It's a waste of a piece of metal and ink or paint or however they make those signs.
If I were a cop, I'd sit right between those two signs.
Yeah, right.
And I would just make my quota for the year.
Yeah, wait for them to speed up.
Like you were going 40.
I caught you.
Like it says go 40. No. It says end 45. And you're supposed to know.
Yeah.
Maybe we can borrow that sign during the previous guy's administration. And then we could just be like end 45. And then it would be, would have been helpful.
So
where was that sign then, Dan?
Yeah, there used to be a sign on Route 80 going from New Jersey to Pennsylvania. And when it got to Pennsylvania, there was a big sign that says, "Welcome to Pennsylvania. America starts here."
Yeah.
And I'm saying, why was I paying taxes all these years? Because I was in New Jersey.
Right. Wait a minute. It's like no part of Pennsylvania touches the coast, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a whole New Jersey in the way.
Yeah, I need that photo though. I never took the photo.
That's pretty good. All right, Brian, show us the next.
Okay, this one I guess is self-explanatory. Somebody, yeah. Don't know what to say about this one. It's self-explanatory.
All right, so for the people listening, we should read what it says. It's a construction road sign. It says caution, water on road during rain, which seems self-evident, but okay. Dan, take it away.
Well, first, I need to know what state this is in.
Yeah, what state was that?
This was in
Please tell me Florida.
where did I take this? This was out in the far reaches of New Jersey. I think I said northwest New Jersey somewhere.
Northwest Jersey. The part of New Jersey that's really in New York.
I want to know who's that government employee who's like, guys, I got this idea, right? People don't know it's wet when it's raining. We need to inform the people.
So my guess about this is that this is a place where like an ephemeral stream appears when it rains. Like there's, running water across the road.
That makes sense.
And I'm going to guess that there is some code that requires the posting of this sign or something like it in those conditions. And that's why the sign exists, because somebody not only made the sign, but then made an ordinance that required people to use this sign. to explain that the road is wet when it's raining.
Dan, how would you rewrite this sign?
I would take it down.
Well, let's say the government gave you, I don't know, $80 million to make a sign about wet conditions during rain. What would that sign say?
Caution, puddle. I don't.
Rain causes puddles.
Yeah, rain causes puddles.
If you taught that in elementary school, you could avoid the need for the sign all the way around. Like, look, everybody, rain causes puddles. There's a whole Peppa Pig about that. All right. Let's see. What's the third one?
Yeah, and those are muddy puddles, by the way.
Oh,
Okay,
that's true.
this one is in the ferry terminal going to New York, right? So
Okay.
I want you to read the bottom one first. I'll read the bottom one first.
Okay.
So on the sign, it says, all complaints regarding the accessibility of this facility to disabled persons may be reported to the city of New York by dialing 311.
Yes.
Okay.
And then apparently, in case anyone has vision difficulties, they wrote the same thing bigger right above it.
Doesn't help if they're blind. Just helps if they're impaired, I suppose.
Yeah.
The crowd is gathering to read the lower sign. The people in the back.
Yeah, let's the
still
tall.
have to see it
For the back,
on,
have to see
and
it.
it's like two. That's a crazy.
You know what it reminds me of? If you ever go through a drive-through at like Burger King or something, it'll say in words on the board, picture menu available. And if you think about the categories of people who might need a picture menu, one, illiterate, this word isn't going to help them.
Yeah.
Two, not able to like process the words and needing images of the, not having English, for example. Also, this is not going to help them. This declaration is as useless as possible. There's also one in the drive-through at the McDonald's that says Braille menus available, which I'm hoping is for if you have a blind passenger who needs that and you want to know that you can ask for it. But the other possibility is terrifying.
Yeah, yeah. If you have a blind passenger who you don't want to talk to, that would be
right. Yeah, who you can't read the menu to.
Yeah. I will say there is no shortage to my collection. I just you'll find them all over.
Great, Dan, I love these.
All right, well, let's see what's the next one here, Brian.
I could do this all day.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, wait, hold on.
I know what happened here.
Okay, I get it now. Nobody wanted to clean a second wall. So they didn't want people's like greasy hands rubbing all over that fresh white tile.
Yeah.
So they just blocked it off and said, no, we only have to clean one wall.
That's-
Maybe New York, wherever this is, New Jersey, some subway stop was like, we only have allocated so much resources for cleaning.
We only have so much, Mr. Clean.
We ran out of Pine Sol.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. This is smart. I give this.
Okay, you're liking that one? So
What do you-
it's a subway station on Canal Street, Manhattan.
All right.
Okay, so I think I know what happened there. The code dictated that the rail be
Railings have to
anchored.
like 6 feet apart. Yeah.
No, that they have to be anchored
Oh, interesting.
instead of just vertical, not anchored. They had to have so many points of anchors or whatever,
Got it.
and that was how they got around it. I'm gonna bet that.
I'm gonna put on my architect hat. By the way, Dan, I'm an architect, so I love this stuff.
Oh, great.
Go back to that photo. I'm gonna pretend to. Well, I'm gonna try to get the real thing. The top step, the yellow step in the corner, it meets at a 45-degree angle.
It does.
And by code, you cannot have a 0 point on a landing into 3x3 square landing.
So that might
And
also
that
be
triangle
the case.
is illegal. So they boxed off the illegal 3x3.
That is a very, very. So that's similar to what I was thinking. Yeah, that's probably right. I bet you're right. I bet I'm wrong. I bet you're
So someone wasn't talking to someone.
That's right. Shocking. It never happens in bureaucracies.
They could have made a nice planter for an underground subway
They could have.
and put like
Metro's got them.
UV light.
Metro has them. They've got planters. There's just nothing in them.
Just put fake plants in there.
Yeah. All right. What else we got, Brian? Oh,
I know these
oh,
things.
it's just COVID. I thought it was
Oh,
a pregnancy
man.
test.
Yeah.
No, it's not pregnancy.
It's okay.
It's,
It's okay.
it's all right. I already got 3. I didn't need any more.
This reminds me, I need to get a vasectomy scheduled very soon.
Yeah. All right. So what are we looking at here, Dan?
So this is a COVID test, and the line pointing to C means you do not have COVID.
That is I never even thought about that. That is
Now, the C and T are standard medical terminology, but not for the general population.
yeah.
So, I mean, seriously, I design a lot of medical equipment and devices, and I go to places like East Harlem where COVID rates are high, and I meet with low literacy
Right.
population, and I meet with low health literacy population. And whether or not that C or T is standard practice, putting a C, an indicator that points to C and nothing else. And I got to tell you, the instructions are terrible. The instructions
Oh, I'm
themselves are
sure.
terrible. But pointing to C on a COVID test that you're going to give to the entire population, it seems like they could have been a little more clear as to what's going on there.
Right.
When you get T, do people think you have tuberculosis? I mean, what happens on the T?
Yeah.
I think it's like common and test, right? Is that what the two lines?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but how would anybody control?
Right?
Yeah,
Control.
Yeah. Control. Yeah.
But like that, you're right. That's stupid. So either rename the deadly virus that has killed millions of people that you can obviously destroy with deworming medicine or something, or idiots, or like just fix the little test strips, right? Like print COVID, not COVID. How hard
Yes,
would
that would be my choice. I mean, the type may be tiny, but at least it's explanatory.
I mean,
Yeah.
the government's paying for these tests anyway.
Not
so,
anymore because they
Oh, they're
lost
not?
it. No, the funding dried up. All the
Oh.
COVID emergency funding.
Well, they got to reduce their letters now.
Right. Well, and yeah, fewer letters. So that's why they got the C and the T. That's all they had left. They used them all up. The C and the R and the T can't be next to each other. Nobody will use the test in
Yeah.
Florida. That's hilarious. All right. Do we have any more, Brian? We got 3 more. All right. Give us the next one. I love this game.
Okay. Now, this is my Volkswagen.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I had to get a Volkswagen in between because I literally ordered an electric Volkswagen more than 1 year ago. It hasn't shown up yet.
Oh my goodness.
But gas gauges have a arrow to tell you what side of the car you fill up the gas.
That's
I
right.
learned about that like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've had them since like the 70s.
Yeah.
So in Volkswagen, they put that symbol for the gas tank exactly where you would start thinking, I need gas. Let's pull into a gas station.
So where the indicator needle is covers up which side it is. So if you don't know, you're
Yeah.
guessing.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. I wait until that needle
It's much
is-
lower than
is
that.
past red.
Yeah.
We're going
Kramer style.
I'm in my reserve tank.
Yeah.
Well, in either case,
My wife would look at this article and this picture and
Yeah.
freak out. She'd be like, "We need gas. We only have a quarter tank left."
Yeah, we need
She
gas.
would definitely get gas here.
well, in either case, there are tens of thousands of people who work at Volkswagen. Somebody's job is to figure out where to put that little symbol.
Right.
Yeah.
And is that the best place they could think
They
of?
could have put it
Underneath.
right
should be
next
at-
to
at
it.
6
Yeah.
o'clock. At 6
Right.
o'clock would be the
Yeah.
best spot.
Right there, you just plotted out episode 1 of your new show.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's storm into VW.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
no, wait a minute. We did that one time before. No storming with the Germans and all the things. No.
Okay. It's been done.
January 6th.
No. Easy. Okay, so
We have
that's
another-
really an indication of why you should either get an electric or not a Volkswagen.
Yeah, exactly.
Which side is the charging port on the electric? How will you know? Will there be an indicator?
I actually know that, but I'm curious to see if there is one. An indicator.
Also, do you know the thing about that the gas gauges are all meant to lie to you?
Yes. And
They're
so
like-
is the temperature.
Conspiracy.
Yeah,
theories,
it's not a conspiracy. This is like an actual standard that's like required in all the cars that the gas gauge lies to you a little bit. You always have
You
way
always have a
more
little
than
bit
you
more than you think.
think you do. Yeah.
That's why my needle can get way down below.
Right. It's set to go. There is the way the gas tanks are shaped. There's like a reserve sump
Yeah.
that's like a gallon or two.
That makes sense.
But the reader for the gauge is in the non-reserve sump, so it's not accurately representing how much gas you have relative to how much space there is in the tank. So it is a lie. It is an objective lie.
Similar with your engine temperature. Did you ever notice whether it's hot or cold or any time of season, it's always in the middle?
Right.
Like the engine temperature never changes?
Well, it depends on the kind of gauge you have, because the gauge I have in my hot rod is like actual temperature. It's reading back, and I can watch it fluctuate. But
Yeah, and
yes.
I've had old cars that do that too. But when
Yeah,
it's just in the middle, they just want to let you know it's okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
right. It's okay.
it's
Your heater
okay.
will now put out heat.
Sometimes
Yeah.
hiding information from the public is a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
When done for ethical reasons.
Correct.
right.
Not recutting a riot video into like guys sightseeing. That is not an okay thing to lie about, Tucker.
4 peaceful minutes.
Right. 4 peaceful minutes. All right. What you got, Brian? Okay. This is clearly an elevator that is confused about what order the floors go in.
302.
Yeah.
Is that the 30th floor?
What's
0
this?
is always a mystery.
It's a split level.
What? Okay. I mean, I used to work in a building that didn't have a 13th floor. It had the L and a 1.
Oh yeah, airlines do that too. It's another photo I've got. It goes from 12 to 14, which makes me think the people in row 14 are clueless.
Yes. Right. That's how that works. Like 13 is still 13. Also, this isn't real, stupid people. Okay. So what are we looking at in this elevator?
I don't know.
Oh, you just
My
don't.
wife took it. My wife took this for me. My wife Natalia took this. She was in an elevator and said, "This is a picture for your collection."
Yes. This is very weird.
Look how much 2 is rubbed off versus the other.
Yeah.
I'm studying the
2 must be like
who's pushing that.
the ground floor, or the best thing in the building is on 2.
0 is usually reserved for like
There's nothing good on 3. Nobody's going
maybe
there.
on the ground or the first parking row. In
Yeah,
the garage,
but how would it be above?
Above 2? Maybe the parking is above 2. Is that a weird thing?
That would be weird. But I have seen buildings like that where there's like parking at ground level and then there's offices below grade. So that could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They could let you know.
Bad
There's always the
would be
letter
good to
P.
know. We need to know whose office to go storming into.
Let's push that 0 button in January.
Yeah, see
On
what
the
happens.
6th.
Oh, I've been to
Square.
Ireland. I've seen the square potty.
Oh, yeah, we've had.
Yeah.
I was just in
Yeah.
Ireland in August.
I don't like it.
No.
It's numbing.
Yeah, it's numbing.
I feel like half of my butt is in the right spot, and then it kind of half of it's not.
And your legs like are getting this weird crease in them where it's not supposed to be in.
I mean, our butts are round.
Yeah, right. People
Yeah.
are sort of round.
I don't get it.
Maybe Europeans are square butts. Is that
I
a thing?
can see the outside being rectangular, but at least the inner part should be.
I've even seen some of these in like fancier buildings that we've had.
Yeah.
That, like they're trying to look European.
Yeah,
What-
they're not uncommon.
Here,
Yeah, they're not uncommon. It's just unexplainable.
so do you think people in Europe like are just they poop differently or something?
They have square butts.
Yeah, they have square butts.
SpongeBob square butt.
Yeah, like the Canadians in South Park.
Yeah, it could be. And if it is, it's something I don't really want to know.
When you eat a lot of potatoes, that's what happens.
Yeah,
in
right.
Ireland.
You
Oh,
kind
I
of
lied.
square
There
off
is
a little
one
bit.
more.
Oh, Brian's got
Oh,
one more.
I love these. I can do this all night.
Let's see. It better not be the Desmond Howard joke. Okay. Oh, this was fantastic. I have seen this in the wild too.
Oh,
and,
the
and-
arrow's pointing inward.
Yeah, so it's supposed
Yeah.
to be the Union Jack.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me which way this car's turning.
Right.
Yeah, that is so weird.
I think it's turning right, but it's letting you know from the left.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
You
some
take-
people do it.
Yeah. Around here for
You know,
sure.
let's just be happy that someone is actually using a blinker.
That's true.
Because
Let's give
around
them
here
some
in
credit.
Maryland, I don't think people know that little thing exists inside of their.
Well, they
steering
know
wheel.
because it turns on their headlights,
Yeah,
which they only put on in their brights at your face.
but not when it rains.
No, not when it rains because the road's dry.
Yeah,
That's, unless you
They
have
need
the
a
sign. How would
Oh,
you
that's
know?
it. The sign lets people know it's wet, so then they know to turn their lights on.
Yeah, but
It
if you
all makes
didn't
sense now.
know, if you don't have the sign, is the road really wet? You'd have no way to prove it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that Mini Cooper thing is it's unbelievable.
This is an incredibly funny exercise in stupidity, I gotta say, and we're
Yeah.
making it much stupider.
This is fun. I love this.
Yeah. And
I'm
again, the collection is much larger, and you keep your eyes open. You will find these things everywhere.
I have actually a collection of similar things like this too. My favorite one is in if you go look in the bathrooms at Nats Stadium, okay, the Sloan valves on the urinals where you flush, right? They're all piped out of the wall, and the shutoff valve that would shut off that set of pipe is behind one of the Sloan valves with an access panel. So you would have to take the Sloan valve apart with the water on to open the panel to then turn the water off.
Oh my God.
And it's in all of them. Next time you're at a game, go look. You'll see it.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. I used to work for those guys. They didn't ask me about how the plumbing
We're gonna
works.
storm you.
Yeah, no, it wasn't me. I was like, hey guys, come on. And they're like, shut up, kid. We don't care what you think. Like, all right, wait till you got to turn the water off. You're going to get wet.
So let's see how far I get with my reality show concept.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. I'll call. Well, Discovery's right here in Silver Spring.
Silver
Right?
Spring, yeah. We got.
No, they
they're
moved.
leaving
They
soon.
were here.
I think going
Okay,
back
well,
up
we'll
to New
call
York.
them up and be like, look, if you can get a couple of sister wives and Dan, we can do the whole show.
Yeah, well, yeah, I got Epicurious credibility now.
Yeah, it's 90-day fiance. Who the hell designed this way? Yeah, come on.
We need a good punny name, right? Like
We'll work on that.
what the hell? That's not a pun,
that's
but
not
it's
that-
short and
that's
sweet.
Not that funny.
It's pretty. I'm
We
sorry.
need a better
name than what the hell.
Don't you nominally write a joke newspaper?
That was a really bad example of what I do for. Yeah, I apologize.
All right, go work on that. Dan, it's a school night, so we don't want to keep you up too long. But where can everybody get the book and get the new updates and all of that kind of stuff?
Amazon Baseball Field Guide, and look for the version with the blue binder, because that's the new edition. The 4th edition now has a blue binder.
And it's
Not a
out
red
in
binder.
time, like for opening day. Will we know?
No, May 2nd.
May 2nd. Okay,
May
so we'll
2nd,
have
yeah.
to suffer through a couple of months or a month of baseball without the official
Yeah.
explanation of the pizza box.
Yeah, exactly. But we were so delayed by trying to figure out what the rules were that we didn't quite make opening day for the
It's
publishing
not
date.
your fault.
No, it's not my
baseball's
fault.
Dragging their feet's fault.
Yeah,
Which I think
exactly.
with the new rules, they're not allowed to drag their feet anymore.
But May 1st, there's still, well, May 2nd, there's still plenty of season left.
There you go. Do you have a section in there about how the Orioles could be better than not terrible?
That would be a book into itself.
Yeah.
No. There's so many topics it doesn't get into. We tried to stick with the rules.
Try to get Pete Angelos to sell the team. That's what we need to do.
That's an option.
Yeah, he's one of the worst owners in sports, and I'm a Washington football team fan. So, they're piling up. All right, everybody, go get Dan's books. And where can they watch your cool videos on the YouTubes?
Well, for the serious design stuff, it's danfamosa.com. That's pretty
Yeah.
simple. And for Epicurious, go to YouTube and type in Epicurious Design or Epicurious Dan Famosa, and they should show up. I think we're up to like 30-something episodes. We have more than 50 million views, which blows my mind.
Yeah.
And people are liking them.
I'm several of those views. I'm not kidding that I've watched every one of these videos. They're really
Like I
good.
said, this is like my anal retentiveness just like spewing out of me. I
Yeah.
love this stuff.
It's very exciting.
So keep it simple, Epicurious Design, and they should show up.
There you go. And we'll send links. So we'll put it on our YouTube channel and all that stuff so that everybody can find it.
Cool, brilliant.
Put it in the comments. It'll be down here in the comments. Okay. Like, subscribe, smash the button. I don't know why people say smash the button. It's like you only click it once, right? It doesn't matter if you click it a lot of times.
Smash.
Yeah. All right. Dan, thank you for hanging out with us. We're going to take a break and we'll come. No breaks. We're going to let you go. And then we're going to do the
Keep
third
going.
half of the show because our producer wants to get the hell out of here.
All right.
Dan,
Thanks,
it's
Chip.
so
Thanks.
great to meet you too as a baseball guy and a designer as well. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
It was a
Yeah,
lot of
great. Yeah. Same here, Eric. See you guys next time.
Yep, cool.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Ian. Appreciate it. All right, let's get on to this next segment. This is called States That Suck.
There are a lot of states that suck these
Yeah,
days.
but there's two main ones at the moment. One is Texas. Now, listen, Texas sucks for a lot of reasons, Dallas Cowboys being one of them. But in this case, it's because Texas hates women. Governor
Yes, they
Abbott
do.
did not stand up for women.
He doesn't stand up much.
No, not for anybody.
Can I do that joke?
Yes, that's the whole joke here. He is a bad person, and thus it is an acceptable joke. He signed into law these abortion bans that are incredibly punitive, and then with the overturning of Roe, are now the law of the land in the state of Texas. And every doctor in the country warned all of these Republican men who passed these laws, hey, there are reasons people get abortions that aren't because they're raging sluts. They might need them to save their lives because they could die because pregnancy is dangerous. And all of the men legislators were like, what?
Women are people?
They have danger? How can they experience danger? They just get pregnant by Jesus and then something happens. We don't know. They don't know how it works. So they were like, pish posh, get out of here.
Yeah.
Now we've got 5 women who are currently pregnant or were pregnant, who needed an abortion for a medical reason, including like terrible miscarriages, and fetuses that are either already dead or about to be dead, who could not get the necessary life-saving care and had to wait, in one case, until she was septic. She had sepsis. She was gone septic. Her blood was infected, and she was in the ICU for 3 days. She had to wait until she was at death's door for the doctors to legally be able to save her life. They had to wait for her to get worse, knowing full well that was what was going to happen.
Oh my God.
The other women who are in these sort of similar positions are facing a life or death choice. Either they get the abortion and survive, and they have other children that they need to care for in some cases, or they let the pregnancy that they're carrying now kill them. And that is the choice that Texas made on purpose. They had several opportunities to undo this. There are even a number of women in the Texas state legislature that voted for this, who seem to rationalize these kind of things as God's will or some awful, heinous shit like that. People are dying as a result, and they chose that. And the party of life, as they claim to be, is directly responsible for these deaths. And I wonder what, with all these personhood laws and all this stuff, if I could tie Attorney General Ken Paxton to letting these women die as a result of enforcing his law, would he be charged with murder?
He should be.
Couldn't he be? That's a reasonable question now.
Or women should identify as corporations.
Then they can have all the abortions they want, because then there'll be people.
Because then there'll be real people.
Yeah. Texas, you knew this was coming. The women of Texas knew this was coming. I will grant that I think a lot of men, I mean, even men who tried to do their best and be up on things, have so little understanding of female anatomy that they are unaware that some of these things happen. And because we have a society that likes to pretend that they don't happen, they might never encounter that. And because we also have a society that doesn't want to teach anything valuable about anatomy in schools, there's no way for unless you went looking for this information, you wouldn't know. That's why you got all these men in government who say things like ectopic pregnancies can be safe or reimplanted, when they will literally kill the person experiencing them. That's how that's happening.
It's awful.
This is what they wanted. This is what they wanted.
Yeah. And I appreciate, all these people that are doing all the right things and trying to fight these laws. But I'm like, do these Texas congressmen even care? I
No.
actually think that, you know, they don't care that these women, not only do they care that these women are almost dying, I think they're happy about it.
They are. That's the point.
I think they're just like, for God's reasons, whatever they want to create in their head, they feel like these women are evil.
This is what you call the cruelty is the point. They mean these things to be harmful. They have figured out how to be harmful and dress it up in the guise of some religiosity or whatever. This is directly harmful. People are dying as a result of this law. And now you've got 5 of them who are brave enough, who might, some of these plaintiffs might actually be on death's door. They might not live to see this lawsuit go through.
So sad.
But because the way our system is set up is you have to be harmed before you can sue. And because we have a system that does not value the lives of women, we now have to let people die of preventable injury to try to get a law overturned that maybe, in spite of all of that, the Supreme Court could look at this when it eventually gets there and go, it's God's will that these women die as a result of this. Because Coney Barrett, because Beer Can Brett, because these other religious whack jobs are going to say this is what God intended. God damn it.
No, it's absolutely 100% terrible. And, you know, I will say this though. Let me give you a brighter moment in here.
Let's hope. Thank you, buddy.
A little brighter moment. So my wife decided, I'm 43. My wife said it's about that time
Yeah.
to get the big V.
Yeah. Snip, snip.
Yeah, did you get it?
Not yet. I got three kids. I'm done.
So I went to make an appointment.
Yeah.
Getting a little personal here with my,
They give you a bag of peas.
So it's a long wait.
There's a long wait. Why? There's a lot of people in front of you.
I asked, yeah, and they said
It's popular
the person I spoke to
surgery.
said, since a lot of this stuff's going on in the country, the number of vasectomies has shot up like 10.
Absolutely. I'm not shocked about that.
Which is actually a good thing.
it is probably
I gotta
well, except
say.
we have a negative birth rate in this country.
Well, that's true.
That's not great.
Maybe we need that. Depends
No.
on which state.
Yeah.
We need a negative birth rate in the right states.
Well, we need people to move, but we either need more immigration, which Joe Biden just absolutely crushed today in a weird policy flip, or we need people to have more babies, because the fact is the workforce is
True.
not being replaced.
True.
So we have a problem. It's a looming problem, but it's a big problem. And you can look at other countries that have had this exact problem.
Yeah.
And see that they do not get out of it very well. Japan is the prime example, of course. They've lost 20 years or something.
And we do this to ourselves. We create laws that tell people we don't want you to have a baby.
Yeah, we penalize them.
And then we say, why aren't you having babies?
Well, we make laws that make it hard to be a parent, make laws that make it hard to be a pregnant person.
Yep.
And then we also make laws that force you to have children that you can't manage.
Oh, and by the way, we won't give you paid maternity or
Right.
paternity leave,
Right.
and we won't cover your health care or child care costs, and we won't cover.
And we're going to
and-
call you a slut while you do it.
Yeah. So why should we have kids? Or why, people who can't afford to have kids, why do it?
Purpose. Yeah. I mean, it's a great question. I mean, I personally wouldn't give back any of mine, but I would give back some of my friends' kids.
My wife and I
They
chose to
should,
not
like,
have kids.
Sell them or something. Yeah.
We're that couple that chose not to have kids.
It's smart.
And we're actually financially okay. Like it's not like
You want to
can't
buy one of
afford it.
mine?
Hell no.
No, they're pretty cute, but
I like to
we're
be
not
the-
selling children on
Yeah,
this
I like
show.
to be the fun uncle.
Yeah.
I'll borrow your kids for an hour just to
Right.
like if you need some time.
Sugar them up.
And then I'll be like, all right, I'll teach them some swear words.
Yeah.
Send them back to you.
They might
They
teach
could
you
sh-
some.
They could. I bet they would.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from your
Yeah,
kids.
yeah. Speaking of which, Florida. Florida sucks even harder than Texas. Tallahassee, that's the capital of Florida. Most people from Florida do not know that. There's a guy, nominally a lawmaker there in the capital, His name is Senator Jason Brodeur. I'm guessing not related to the goalie.
At least his name starts with bro.
Yeah, right. That's,
It's bro.
that's pretty
Jason
funny.
Brodeur.
Jason Bro, Senator Bro. What does he want to do, Eric?
He wants to require that anybody who has a blog would have to disclose who paid them and how much, along with other information such as where the post is located online. And they would be fined $25 per day. The report is late, and up to a $2,500 maximum fee for each report.
And he wants people who write about government officials in Florida to have to register to be on a list. If you might have the barest minimum of understanding of the First Amendment, but you would know right away that this is a terrible idea and is very, very Nazi. But also, like, how on God's green earth does he think he can enforce this?
Would the Tacoma Torch survive?
That's the question.
Satire blog on politics.
Yeah,
Would it
that's-
survive in Florida?
No. But
Or
they
I'd have to
can't-
register.
Well, just don't do it. What are they going to do?
Well, it's funny. These are the same people that want that
Like,
are
come get us, Florida. We're here in Maryland.
so they
Idiots.
They don't want a national registry of guns, right?
Right.
But they want a national registry of
Bloggers.
keyboards.
Yes.
Like
right.
register your keyboard to the state.
It's an AR QWERTY.
Yeah.
I'm not. You can have it in my cold dead hands.
Yeah.
I have a right to bear arms, and that's BEARS.
right to bear arms, but you just can't spell it out.
Right to bear blogs.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
How
one.
do you know? I mean, if the pen is mightier than the sword, they're both clearly a weapon.
That's
The right to
exactly
bear
why
arms,
they're
Second
good.
Amendment protection. There you go.
I think they used that quote and said, the pen is mightier than the sword, so therefore
Yeah, that's
register your pen.
Second Amendment protects your pen
Why blogs and why not words?
because they don't know what that is.
Like, for example, I go online and spout a bunch of nonsense versus getting a microphone and doing this.
Yeah,
Is this a blog?
I think they would think that. I don't think they know the difference. They got flamed on Twitter, and then they're like, "That's it, abandon the blogs.
It's a good thing ChipChat is not registered in Florida.
Come get us, Florida." Registered in Virginia is the LLC. Actually, if you want to come after us, we don't respect your laws. We don't think you have laws. You can send all the meth gators you want. They are not going to survive in the cold of Northern Virginia. We're fine. Fucking Florida. All right, you hear the music? That means we've come to the end of the show.
Wrap it up.
So we want to say thank you to you, Eric,
Oh,
of
thank
the
you for
Tacoma
having
Torch.
me. Thank you so much.
Thanks for hanging out. Thanks to Dan Formosa for being awesome and taking all of that time to talk with us. That was really cool. Thanks to our radio partners, Google, Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, Amazon. We are on YouTube now live, like streaming tonight. Which it should be. The ACLU, all those guys keep us out of trouble. Thanks to NOTN for keeping us on for another week, we assume, although we haven't checked. Thanks to our digital media meatball, Mr. Elam. Thanks to our home on the interwebs, coplaymedia.com. And thanks, as always, to our family here at Beltway Radio for making us sound as smooth as Lamar's contract negotiations. Gino's making more. Gino's making more than Lamar this year. That's hilarious. Okay, Eric, where can everybody get you on the social medias and things?
Everybody can go to www.Tacoma Torch. Now that's a K, Tacoma, not a C.
Right.
C puts you in the wrong state.
Yeah.
Tacoma with a K, and then you'll know you're on the East Coast.
That's right. Tacoma Torch.
Twitter at Tacoma Torch. Instagram, same thing. I think they're all at Tacoma Torch.
There you go. You'll know it's got a chicken on it.
Chicken on a torch with a flame coming out of its head.
Yeah, there you go. The flaming cock of Tacoma. All right. And you can find me and the show on the Twitter at ChipChatRR. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at RipChipChat. And you can, of course, find us every Thursday night at 9:30 here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm Chip. That's Eric. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and Beyond.